Hello, thank you guys for tuning in to Heavenly Sent People You Should Know. My name is Cynthia, and I am the CEO of Heavenly Sent Youth Organization, and we strive in providing spaces, opportunities, and resources for our youth in the inner city neighborhoods. And so you guys know I always bring on people you should know. And so I have the pleasure of sitting next to a boxer. If anybody know me, you guys know that I love boxing to all capacities, right? So much so to, I think last month I volunteered at a boxing event, and I was one of the judges. And so it was like 15 female match, and it was pretty cool. And I enjoyed it so much so, I guess I did good because there were no complaints. And they asked me when was I coming back. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, just trying to get more in tune with it on out of the ring, of course, out of the ring. And so I had the pleasure of meeting this young man next to me. Tyrone Muhammad had posted him that he was boxing at Cicero Stadium. And so that's close by where I live. And so I called Tyrone and was like, Tyrone, I want to come. And so he had me come out, and you know, I was able to come out and meet Joseph and his family, awesome family, and, you know, just to hear young men that are walking into their destiny, if I should say, because he could be, and they could be doing anything else. So the fact that he chose to use boxing as an outlet, and he's doing really well in it. I can't wait till you guys hear his story and all these cool belts that he brought up in here. I just asked him, he said he got about 20 belts, right? So impressive, right? So with that being said, Joseph, tell us your name, how old you are, and you know, how you got into boxing.
So hello everyone, my name is Joseph Awinogya Jr. Starting out, I got into boxing around the age of 5. My father was an ex-professional boxer, and he went ahead, he started boxing, and then led him to Don King, who was his promoter.
Really?
And then, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He then started, after boxing, he had a detached retina, so he had to end his career there, and then he became a coach. And he trained some professional fighters, some that went to go ahead and fight big-name people, but then that led to me starting up the sport around 5, and then from 5 to now 17, it's led me to become a 21-time national champion. And then it also led me to start college at 13, and now...
Wait. You said you started college at what age?
13 years old, so... now
13 years old.
I'm going to be finishing up my marketing degree, and then hopefully going for my master's at Northwestern in the next years.
Good for you. So at 13, what college were you in, and how small were you 13 years old?
Yeah, so to me, during that time, I didn't find myself to be too small, but when I look back at the pictures, I really understand, like, you can see how different I look. But
that is so cool.
When I started, it was at Joliet Junior College, which then led me to go into St. Francis in the later years.
See, I keep telling you guys, it's always Heavenly Sent People You Should Know. Now, this is the first person I've had on my show. He's 17 years old, and he said he started junior college at 13 years old. At 13 years old, I think I was probably somewhere playing with something, and so that's awesome. So, how many siblings do you have?
So I have a total of 2 siblings, and then my recent one, she just had her baby shower. So,
I seen that. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's having a boy soon, and then my little sister, she's a gymnast, so
cool.
She does that a lot, and then always going to those small tournaments, winning. It's fun to watch that as well.
So how many matches have you taken part in that you can remember?
To my knowledge, around 150, going on to around 160 now.
160 matches from what age?
From
starting?
8. Starting out at 8, you get to start fighting, and then after that, you just keep on going with it.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So some of these belts that you've got, can you tell us a little like for this one?
Yeah,
this
so
one?
this belt right here is the one I won from the Silver Gloves Nationals in 2017, which was the first national tournament that I went ahead and won. But then after I won that one, I just kept on going, and then so this was the first one that started up with my national journey.
And they're heavy, y'all. What about this one?
That one, a recent Golden Glove tournament that happened in Chicago, which I went ahead and won at 165 pounds. And yeah.
Wait, is this the one I was at?
Yep, you.
I was there when he
up to
won
that one.
this. Okay, okay.
This one is 2022 USA National Tournament, which gets you onto the USA National team every time you go ahead and win one of these. So you start going to the camps, you go
Wow.
ahead and you fight at different tournaments that they host and everything like that.
That is so
Then this one in the recent year, 2023. Now I'm going on to 2024, so I have to go ahead and win this next upcoming one,
Wow.
which I still don't know where it will be hosted, but yeah, so I just need to keep on going and
Good for
winning
you,
these
Joe.
national tournaments.
Good for you. Your parents should be proud of you. Let me ask you this. Do you think you can beat your dad?
Yeah, I would say that he's got a little bit slower in the recent years, so I got the edge on him now.
You hear that, Dad? He think he can take you. That's funny. So so with that being said, what do you do for fun outside of boxing?
So when it comes to for fun, most of the time, I would say I'm just on my, I like my PC, which I play my games on. So I normally just go ahead when I finish training, finish what I got to do at home, then get on the game and do my assignments. So that's just how everyday life, depending on what time we need to go to the gym, come back, check my work, and then hop on the game, and then
Priorities first,
yeah,
right?
that's how it normally goes.
Sounds good. I love it. So how many hours do you? Well, let me ask you this. How often do you go to the gym? Are you in the gym every day, once a week?
So normally I go to the gym around twice a day. So in the morning, it'll depend on if I have strength and conditioning training in the morning or later on in the day. But normally 10 o'clock I'm in the gym. In the recent days, my dad has been saying that we need to start going to the gym at around like 6, 7. So,
a.m.?
So we started doing 3 times a day, but those, if I don't go to sleep early, then you start feeling it in the next days. But now with school starting back up soon, how my schedule would normally go to classes in the morning, go to the gym right after that, and then go to the gym later on in the day.
Now, what school will you be attending again when school starts?
St. Francis University.
St.
That's
Francis.
in Joliet.
That's nice. That is so cool. So, what do you have coming up?
So what I have right now is my USA camp that's going to be in Colorado with the USA national team, and then going on to the under 18 World Tournament, which will be also happening in Colorado. So that one in October 25th to the 5th of August.
So, the event that I was at, the one where he won this, right? So your dad was telling me that at that time you were headed to another camp, and I think he told me that that was your first time leaving or taking a flight alone. How was that? What was that experience like?
So this one was my first time. After I won this one, I went to the junior camp. That was my first time going alone. But
Was that out of state?
that one was in California. I went to.
How old were you then?
I was, I believe, 15 or 16, around there. And then it was, for me, it wasn't too different. It's just like, just follow the procedures and you'll make your way home. But it was nice going alone and then seeing how life is, how I need to go ahead and focus
Good for you.
more to make sure I go ahead and hit all the standards I need to hit.
I love it. Now, I know you said you were at probably 160 fights. What would be your most memorable fight?
My most memorable, probably my first time, the first time I went to a national tournament. So that one, I went and it was in Dallas, I believe. And then I was around 8 years old at that time.
Wow.
It was just me and my dad that went. And it was very memorable because every time when we would be walking around, he would say, "Oh, it's so hot," and I was thinking like he's from Ghana. I always hear it's hot, but why is he struggling with the heat there? So that one really it always got to me a little bit, but it was nice because that was the first time me and my dad also traveled out together.
Aww.
And then just having a different atmosphere and learning about the world and all the different places, they really got me going with that one.
What is the best advice your mother has given you? Because I can totally tell that you're from a loving family just by the way you're structured and your what do you call it? It'll come to me.
But for the best advice I would say my mom has given to me, it's normally, I still get advice from her a lot, but it's normally to just stay focused and make sure that I take all the right steps to make sure my life is secure, and making sure that I go ahead and do everything that's needed of me right now so later on in life is better for me. So just making sure I stay focused in school, making sure I stay focused in the gym, and making sure I win.
I met your mom. She's awesome. She's just as awesome as your dad. So I think the word I was looking for was structure. And I say that all the time. Kids need, youth need discipline and need structure, and of course love. And so I can tell just talking to you that you're getting all of those. So that's awesome. And like I said, my heart smiles when I'm able to be around youth that are just excelling and just walking in their passion and just doing whatever is needed to get to the next level. You're focused, and that's awesome. Wow, let's see. So I'm sure at some point, with all these accolades and these belts that you've won, I'm sure you've been offered to, I guess, go pro probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With the case of going pro, for me, it's really what will jumpstart my career the most. And in that case, it was between me and my mom and my father, and we all talked, and he was the one that really wanted to go ahead and go to the Olympics, and me and my mom were thinking about financial situation, how much I would say how much news will come around my name if I went pro and all of that. So me and my mom were planning to go professional, but with the help of knowing the community and knowing just everyone that's there for me, we went ahead and came to the conclusion focusing on the Olympics to also get that jump start on my career, to where if I'm a gold medalist, I could start out my professional career at a higher level as well.
Nice.
So that's the main goal for me, is just whatever path I need to take to go ahead and get to that next level, I'm going to take it. So the Olympics, I would say, is the route for me right now.
I love it. So do you have any friends that are pro?
I do spar with a lot of professional people. Nice. I go ahead, Sam Colonna's gym in Chicago, he's the one that always helps us out with the sparring, making sure that we're connected with whatever we need to connect with to get me to those fights to where I have the energy to go all the rounds I need to go.
So in boxing, there's one weight class, right, that you weigh in, right? Because I see you got all these belts. So of course, all these belts are different weight class because they're all at different years. So what weight class are you in now?
So currently, I fight at 165 pounds.
Okay.
So for me, I don't see myself switching weight classes that much because I don't find the weight hard to make. But in my dad's eyes, he always says that I'm eating myself to death. So he believes that in the next years I'll go up in weight. But right now, depending on how tall I grow in the next years, I think 165. I want to stay there for a good amount of time.
So what does your diet look like?
Right now, I would say when it gets into the space of 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I leave, that's when we really have to tune into the diet and make sure everything is good.
Wow.
But right now, probably 2 meals a day, go to the gym in the morning, then after that eat then take a little break, and then before I go to the gym, eat again, and then I'm normally good from there. But my dad's the cook, and he
Nice.
just tries to do everything organic, make sure everything is good with my health. But then they recently started this Yuka app, so they like checking and scanning every food there. So yeah, so they've stopped a lot of my tendencies to eat unorganic with that. But then it's good because I have my support group, being my parents,
Indeed.
making sure everything is good for me as well.
That is
So
so awesome. So you don't, so no snacks, no like the little Debbie cakes and the pops and all this stuff.
not too many snacks if my dad is seeing. So, but normally my favorite thing is Little Bites, the little chocolate chip Little Bites.
In the little bag.
Mhm,
Oh wow,
those.
that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. So where do you see yourself in probably the next 5 years? Let's do 5.
5 years. Goal is finishing up my degree at St. Francis, getting done with my master's,
Nice.
and then after that, making sure that I win the Olympics and win all of these tournaments that I have coming up in the next years for the USA team.
So boxing is new to me. I'm starting to pay more attention to it because I just enjoy it now. I enjoy to watch it, so now I want to, be in the loop with it. So let's say you get to a match and your weight, you say, is 165. So if you're 170, they won't let you. How does that work?
Depending on if it's a local show or if it's a national tournament. And if it's a national tournament, you're able to be 5 pounds in that
Okay.
range. So from 160 to 165, that's the range for it. And then for the next weight class, it would fluctuate depending on that. But then if you're in a local fight, you're able to have, depending on your age and the weight, around like 8-pound difference between the two fighters.
Got it. I always wondered that. That's cool. I'm like, do they turn you away? That's good. Who's your favorite boxer?
Previously, my favorite boxer was Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
His prime was, he's the one that really, prior to his time, when I started watching him, I didn't really like watching boxing too much. I didn't
wow.
find it too entertaining because when I was younger, my dad always used to put me in front of Trinidad to watch all of his fights. So after I finished going through all of that, I didn't want to watch boxing too much, and then I started seeing the little small clips of Deontay Wilder getting the knockouts.
He's good.
And then after Deontay, in the recent years, I like Tank.
That's
Crawford,
my favorite. I like Crawford.
And then Shakur as well. And then just all of these fighters, I love watching them.
That is so cool. So, what are your colors? What's your uniform colors? Do you have a special color?
So, right now for fights, I go ahead, put on my Sting gear, and then get either red or blue, and then when you go into the amateur fights, you don't really wear too much colors and stuff, but when you go in professional, that's when you can really customize your wardrobe.
Nice, nice. So, what advice would you give someone that's considering pursuing boxing?
The first thing when it comes to finding a reputable coach that's going to put their time and effort into you to make sure that you also stick to what you love. But then the next thing after that is making sure you stay consistent and making sure you go ahead and take all the right steps you need to take. Don't go ahead and enter into the wrong field that you know it's going to take time for what you really love to do. So just make sure you stay true to yourself and know that the only person that you're cheating is yourself.
I like that. I'm gonna pick your brain. Can you tell us what was the longest match that that you took part in? Wait, let me ask you this. So how many rounds is it?
So when you're fighting, it's going to be around, for me, it's 3 minutes for 3 rounds.
Really? Okay.
But then
That seems short.
Yeah, so 9 minutes of fighting, and then you get 1 minute break in between rounds. But then when it comes to sparring and stuff, I remember since when I was younger, I used to fight 1 minute rounds. So around I would say 10 or somewhere around there, I did 20-something rounds.
No way.
Difference, yeah. It was, so we had 1-minute rounds, and then I did, around like 20-something rounds, and then, that was fun as well.
Wow, wow, wow. So so how many, of course, everybody likes to talk about knockouts. How many knockouts do you have that you can remember?
Knockouts, it's more like stunning them and then they drop to the floor and then they get back up. But not too many. I have probably around like 3 or 4 in sparring. Not in the fights. I don't go for knockouts. I just recently started doing more of that, and because when I was in the lower weight classes, I used to just like using my range and using my boxing to my advantage. So I would really go for that distance fighting and seeing who the better boxer is. But normally in the recent fights, I've just been seeing who has more strength. So that's when it's been a change.
So in boxing, so for a knockout, is there like a specific place on the body or the head or the jaw that will just put a person to sleep?
I would say there are a couple spots. It's normally the jaw. It's if you hit them in the sternum, in that area. If you, or the place Ryan Garcia got hit in, that place hurts a lot.
I seen that.
Yeah, so just a couple locations. They'll, if you're not ready for it and you're not blocking and you leave yourself open for too long, you're susceptible to that.
So can you show me how do you make a fist?
Fist is go ahead, close your fingers like this, and then you're going to put your thumb around your knuckles right here, and then you could go ahead and make sure you're turning your fist when you punch as well. But make sure you don't do it like this. Make sure you
straight
keep
fist, straight arm. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told that boxers typically have insurance on their hands. Is that really a thing?
The insurance is really on
like
you.
That. Okay.
If you're not protecting your hands when you go ahead and put the gloves on, may that be putting on your wraps or wearing even extra protective gear around your hands, then in the later years you might see your hands become really not as strong as they used to be.
So let me ask you this: what's the most important thing when suiting up? Is it the headgear? Is it the wrap? Is it the glove? What do you think it is?
For me, it's if you don't have your wraps on, and if you don't have your wraps on, if your cup is like breaking a little bit and it starts messing with you while you're training, then that one's not good. And then lastly, the headgear also. I would say every equipment is a necessity when you get into sparring or in the ring.
I watched your dad at the fight wrap your hand, and I was like, "OMG, was that like a whole spool of tape that he was putting on your hand?"
Yeah, so he goes ahead. He's been my wrapper through my whole career.
I love it. What better person?
Yeah, so he's the one that's always gloving me up and everything.
That is so cool. And then even watching you spar, I was like, OMG. And then like you said, your reach. I was watching you, and you did really well. And so that was a pleasure meeting your family. I pray that you guys continually have the success that you're having. You have a loving support system, and you're beating the odds. 13 college, and now working towards your masters and 20 belts, over 150 matches at 17 years old. That's enough for anybody to be proud of their kid. So let's think. What does training look like? Because I had went to some gym and I was watching the guys train. I think he said they ran like 5 miles and they got up at. So what does that look like?
For me, it's early morning, wake up, then strength and conditioning, which is either I go ahead. My dad isn't a big weightlifter person. He's still got the old school style, so he really hates weights. So.
You do know your dad is in the other room, right?
But yeah, I always mess with him. Like when I finish with my training with my coach, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I just finished lifting 300 pounds." Then you'll see his face change. But then it's just I do my training with him, then go ahead. When me and my dad are training, we do our favorite thing is pads. That's it's like a full body workout for us. So
Nice.
making sure we get around like 45 minutes doing pads alone,
Nice.
and then the bag work.
Wow, 45 minutes pads? Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and then bag work and shadow boxing, and then we go through this every day.
So what about running? I'm sorry, I was about to say cardio.
Running, normally for me, it's around 3 miles that I work on. But when I run, it's normally depending on if I'm going for speed or if I'm going for longevity. So with my dad, he likes to do it more to see how long I can run, going like 5 miles. But with my trainer, trying to get my runs in 17 minutes.
Well, Joseph, it was a pleasure meeting you. I'm so happy to meet your family. I am following your journey. I can't wait to see you on a big screen so I can say, I interviewed him. I met his family. They're awesome. And so, as always, I thank CAN TV for giving me this platform to allow me to have people like yourself to come on. And I'm looking forward to, like I said, to seeing you on the big screen. I want to give a shout out to my parents who's been instrumental in my journey starting the organization, and my son, of course, who is the starting focal point of me starting this organization. So with that being said, anybody you want to give a thanks to and shout out to?
Thank you to all of the communities that support me. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Joliet, Chicago, and everyone that always shows love to me for how far I've made it so far. So yeah, thank you to my family as well.
All right.
Okay, bye.